Wow, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome today with your host, Andrew Spama. Tonight we are again talking relationships with your host, Andrew Spama. What an honor to be with you. What a privilege. I am grateful to God for what He's doing in your life, in my life. And I thank Him because everything is working together for our good. And we are seeing His grace every day. And I'm grateful for all the support that I am getting from you, friends. Your feedback is really appreciated, and I'm really honored to have you. Thank you very much, Tembeka, for coming through. My friend, Pastor Jonas Masutla, all the way from Pretoria, thank you very much for coming through. I'm really honored to share this time with you. And there are some basic information that I have found to be so useful, especially when coming to starting a relationship. So I want to share with you about things that you should know, and when you get into a relationship, especially when talking about character, the importance of character when you go into a relationship. Thank you very much, Pastor Tabama Vunga. Thank you, Mr. Abraham Mamawolu. Thank you for your support and your love. We really appreciate you. We are going somewhere, and we can only do that with God on our side. And tonight I want to talk about the importance of character. Last week I stated to you that there are certain things about the person that you don't need to be in a relationship with in order to observe them or to know what kind of a person they are. And tonight I want you to look at some of the few things that the Apostle Paul mentions in the book of Romans chapter 12. When looking at that, and as he was addressing the church in Rome, he mentioned some important things that I felt that it is important that we should share, or we should share tonight together, in order for you to understand the person that you deciding to go into relationship with. Before you commit, before you give yourself over to a person, there are certain basic characters that you can look at, that you can start observing about the person, because character is everything. You don't marry the person's beauty, you don't marry the person's wealth, you don't marry the person's education, you don't marry the person's intellect, you don't marry the person's family's connection, but you marry their character, because character is what is produced, especially when a person is going through hard times. Character is also produced when a person has got plenty in their lives, and in the midst of that you are able to learn a lot about a person, you are able to observe a lot about your person. Thank you very much, Eunice Maluleka, for coming through, and we appreciate your support. So tonight we are talking about the character of a person, even before you go into a relationship with such kind of a person. Right now, number one, I want to state these few points that I've written down that I want to share with you tonight. And then I want to say, Mr. Ronald, thank you very much for coming through. As I'm saying, that you don't get into a relationship with just the looks, but you get into a relationship with the character of a person. That is what will attract you to a person. All right, and then also character of a person is revealed from someone when they have nothing, but also it can be revealed when they have much in their disposal. So you can see a person when they've got nothing, especially when they've got nothing, and from there they start to have something. Someone that was like unemployed, and all of a sudden they start to have a touch of money, then you can see how their character is changing. And also you can see the character of a person who had much and all of a sudden they don't have anything. That also you see character revealed in there. That is why Apostle Paul says that I have learned to live with much, and I have also learned to live with nothing. And when a person is able to control themselves and to still remain a person of love when they have much and also when they have got nothing, it gives you a lot about such person. And also one of the things that reveal the character of a person is hard times, as I've already said. That is why in the book of James it says, count it all joy when you go through all these hard times, because when you go through these things, they reveal your character, they shape you, they produce who you are. So when you go into a relationship with a person, you need to look, when you look at Romans chapter 12, when you read verse 6, it says that live in harmony. All right. So when you observe the person that you are in relationship with, now look at their ability to seek peace. Is this person aus Sheila and aus Eva Ramashala? Thank you very much for coming through. The person that you are involved with, is it a person that seeks peace? Is there a peace seeker? Are they willing to even apologize when they've done wrong? Are they willing to humble themselves? Thank you very much for coming through, my sister. Is the person that you are in relationship with willing to humble themselves, willing to say that, look, I'm looking for peace and I'm looking to mend things, and how can I do things better? And as I said, that you don't have to go into a relationship with the person, but see how they interact with other people around them. See, if you are in a youth group, see how they interact with other young people in the group. When they have done something wrong, will they easily be able to come through and say, I am sorry? When they are in the church committee, when they are in the sports committee, how willing are they? How willing is that person, to come down and say, look, I have done something wrong, right? I'm willing to apologize. I'm willing to say I am sorry, because that character will be seen as you go into the relationship, as you start into the relationship. If the person was never a person that is willing to apologize, that never seek peace, before you go into relationship, it doesn't mean that automatically because they are in relationship with you, they will start seeking peace. So Paul is encouraging that live in harmony. Look at the person. That is he a kind of person that will seek harmony, or will always seek to find strife, to always want to seek to fight, that they will always want to push their point, always want to prove a point at whatever cost. Observe those characters in a person before you can even go into a relationship with such kind of a person. And then again he says in verse 16 of Romans chapter 12, Paul says that, look at the person that you are in relationship with, or that you are intending to go into relationship. Is this the person that is too proud to enjoy the company of ordinary people? When the person will be classing people, you class people, there are certain people that if they will feel that they are not in my class, I cannot go to that level. They are poor people. I've got my kind of people. That is also a breed of pride, Mr. Mopale Ngwanyana. Thank you very much for coming through. Thank you very much, Outstanding Lizzie, for coming through. So what I'm saying to you is that find someone that enjoy the company of the ordinary people, and also Paul says that, a person who some people who feel that they know it all. No one ever can tell them anything. Their word is the final authority. No one should question them. A person that feels that they are too much educated, or they've traveled throughout the world, that even in every conversation, their word is the last word. And you see these things in people, even when you are not in relationship with them, as you are interacting with them, as you are discussing a topic, you are able to observe this person. Yes, he looks smart. Yes, he smells good. Yes, he's got charisma. But is he the kind of person that is willing to listen? Can you knock some sense into them? Because those behaviors, those behaviors that you are seeing in a person before you go into relationship with, will continue even after you are in relationship with the person. They will continue even in marriage. So observe those characters, observe those, and be willing to know, this is what I am dealing with, and am I ready to live the rest of my life with this kind of a person? We are talking about the importance of character in relationship, and we are saying that you don't have to be in a relationship with a person to know or to observe their character. So in observing their character, the other important things that you should check about the person that is interested in you, or you are interested in them. A person, as you observe, how there are some people that have got a revengeful heart. They are so filled with anger, or they just want to revenge, especially when someone has done them wrong. I said to you last week, observe the person, how he or she deals with those that owe them money, or those that are supposed to do something and they don't do it, or a person who will be angry at rage because someone has missed an appointment with 1 minute or so. Yes, it's important to keep time, but when someone can make a big deal of things that you can let go, look at those characters and ask yourself, am I ready to spend the rest of my life with this kind of a person? Am I ready to spend the coming 6 months? Am I ready to be in a relationship with this person? Am I ready to know this person a little deeper than what I know about them? Because it is very much important. Character is important, and character of a person is portrayed even before you go into a relationship with the person. So be careful of a person with a revengeful heart, who will seek evil for evil. If you hit me, I will hit you back. I have to get revenge. A person who will go all out of their way to make sure that you get your revenge. They will make sure that they will not sleep, especially when a person says, they don't know me. I will show him. I'll show him. Who does he think he is? Who does she think he is? She is. I will deal with them, and they will know me very. Especially when the person is dealing with their ex. How they will deal with their ex, you must know that, it tells you a lot. How they deal with those that have had them, it tells you a lot about them. Mzuguru Mbaya, thank you very much. Maureen, thank you very much for coming through. Right? When you see the person is so filled with anger, is so filled with revenge, and will go all out to make sure that whoever has come on their wrong side, Mr. Mutale, thank you very much for coming through. Pauline, Pauline, thank you very much for coming through. They will go out to make sure that whoever has touched them on the wrong side will pay the price. Then you need to be careful of such kind of a person. To go into relationship with such kind of a person, you are going for disaster. So be careful. Be warned as you are going into relationship, as you are looking for a life partner, right? There are some people who play, as Paul put it in verse 17 of Romans chapter 12. He says that, don't play to public gallery. Those who are quick to want to please everyone, who wants to be seen, who want to always play important, because such kind of a character, always will want to spend what they don't have in order to impress people who don't even care about them. They will always want to show off what they are having. They will always want to show off their strength. They will always want to play to public gallery. They will always want to give the experience. I am Andrew Spama. I was in the UK. I've been to America. When I was this and when I was that. Every person, when a person starts to talk something, already you are coming through with your opinion. Thank you, Slota. Thank you very much, Charmaine. Thank you very much for coming through. So be careful of such kind of people even before you go into the relationship with them, because that character that you are seeing, it will continue in the relationship. It will continue when you are with them at your work, when you are attending a work function, when you are with them at the wedding, when you are with them in a party. They will always want to show off. And when they are not given attention, when they don't get that gallery to play off, they will always feel that they are not welcome. So be careful of someone that plays to the gallery, because it is dangerous for a relationship, and it's dangerous, for you if you're not willing to deal with. Thank you very much, Lerato, for coming through. And then also, we're looking at the character of a person, someone who will seek to live at peace with all men, and doing all in their power to live at peace with all men. Thank you very much for coming through. So now, when you are looking at a character of a person, also there are certain good characters of a person that you can be attracted to. Someone that will be willing to live at peace with all men. I know that some people are so difficult to deal with, but someone that will do everything in their power to make sure that they live at peace with all men. Someone that will say that, look, I understand, but let it go. Yes, you are going on a date with someone that is interested in you, and there they are, someone just cut in front of them, they take their parking. It's something that you can easily let go. But when you start seeing that person coming out, lifting up their chest, saying, starting to insult, going out of the car, pointing fingers, seeking for a fight, you can realize that you are dealing with someone with some anger issues. So the question is, are you willing to live with such kind of a person, to make such kind of a person your life partner, to live with that person in your marriage? Because whatever you are seeing even before marriage, you will see in marriage. Whatever you are seeing before the relationship could start, you will see during the relationship. So be observant, all right? Let good character attract you in a person. Someone that is caring even to their own family. Paul says that if one fails to take care of their own family, how can they even love God, right? So it is important to look at someone that is willing and having the heart to take care of their own family, that is concerned about their own family, that is concerned about those that are less privileged, that is concerned about those that cannot do for themselves. Such kind of a character should attract you, because it talks a lot about the person that you will be with in marriage, okay? And look at your partner, at how they deal with their enemies. how they deal with their enemies. Because how they deal with their enemies also tells you a lot about who they are, even before you go into the marriage with that kind of a person. Because as they deal with their enemies, it says to you that what will happen to you if you get on their wrong side. Because in relationships, sometimes we don't do things, the way that the other person might feel that, they deserve it. I might go on the wrong side. I might take your car keys and put your car without putting petrol. I might bump your car, and as the person is so obsessed with material things, as the person is so obsessed that they want revenge. If you have done me wrong, I will go out of the way to make sure that I punish you for that. So those are the important characters that you need to observe in a person even before you go into a relationship. There are some people that you are just you are dating, you are not even in a relationship, but the person is already so obsessed, so possessive, so controlling. Why didn't you answer the phone? You were online, but you did not answer me. You just blue ticked me. I tried to call you. Why didn't you answer your phone? Who were you with? Who is that person? What are they doing? I don't like that one. I like that one. You are not even in a relationship. A person is already controlling you. Even when you are in a relationship, when you are in marriage, no one has got the power to tell you who you associate with, especially when they instruct you without sitting with you and explaining their concern. And even if you explain your concern, it is still in that person's right to choose, right? To choose to listen to you. So you raise your concern, and as you raise your concern, remember that it is your concern, and a person can choose not to listen to you. Some, it takes them time, as you raise your concern, it takes them time to see it. And some, they will wait until they are banned before they can see it. And when they are banned, it doesn't mean that automatically you said, I told you, and you want to just rub the salt on the wound. No, because you love the person, you still embrace them and say that, look, I just wanted to warn you, but I still love you. I'm still there for you. So this kind of characters, you see them in a person even before you go into a relationship with that kind of a person. Thank you, man of God, Francisco Shabalala. Thank you very much, my friend, for the support and the love. So it is important that, you know the person that you are dealing with. And as I said to you, that, most of the characters that are hating us in our relationships, we saw them. You saw that this person doesn't like your mother. You saw that this person doesn't like people. You saw that this person is always mean to people, but you thought that a person will change. Or some of you say that I will change them. And don't ever make a mistake to think that you can change your person, because you don't have powers to change a person. And let me tell you, my friend, before the relationship can start, it is the right time to start addressing important matters. Because once a person puts a ring on your finger, or once a person arrives to the place where they feel that now I've got you, it is not easy to change or to address some of the important things that are there. Because having these things and talking about them, even before the relationship comes, you know what you are dealing with, and even your partner is able to know that this one Andrew doesn't appreciate, this one Nomsa doesn't appreciate, and I'm able to know to work on it. It might not be over one day, it might not be over 2 days, but the more we talk about them, the more sometimes we even differ because of certain characters. The more we develop our love, I always say to people, that, look at the person, look at your partner, how they will treat the waiters at the restaurant, how they will talk to petrol attendants, how will they will talk to vendors, those that are selling on the street, because it tells you a lot about them, how they will talk when they meet, those that are privileged, when they are sitting on the table with rich people, how they will portray themselves, how they will talk about themselves. Can you imagine? You are with the person that you know and is your partner, and you go to this function with all these dignitaries, and then the person start to lie, and you know that this person is lying. There's no truth in what they are saying, and they are there busy charming people with lies, and is your partner. Let me tell you, my friend, as you are listening to those lies, they are very soon coming to you. You will receive them. All right. So it is important to observe the character of the person. Lastly, I want to say this to you, my dear friends. Now, when you go into a relationship with the person, now be careful. Ask yourself, who speaks over their lives? Who's the voice of authority over their lives? Because you cannot just have a person who does not have a voice of authority and that does not respect anyone. Right? There are some people that will criticize even the pastor of the church that they are going to. Right? They will criticize and even hate their own mother who gave birth, who paid for their school fees. You can see that already you are dealing with someone that has got a problem with authority. And if a person has got a problem with authority, they will never have anyone having authority. Because no matter how much powerful I may be, when there are times where my wife Nomsa might feel that, Andrew, you are out of order. And I might find that I'm not seeing it. But when she knows that there is someone of having authority over me, she's able to approach that person and say that, look, this is the situation. That is why in my life, I've got people like Bishop Lalaman, I've got people like Bishop Detail, I've got people like Pastor Maruma who speak over my life. And all these people I have introduced to my wife to say that, honey, if you at any means, and you feel that no one can get through to me, these are the people that matter to me, that when they speak, I will be able to listen. You need to know who speaks over your partner's life. You need to know who speaks over your husband's life. I'm not talking about their parents. Yes, they might be obeying their parents, but we've got a situation where if your parents are dependent on your partner financially, they will not want to spite the hand that feeds them. So they will not be objective. So identify, know who speaks over their lives. All right. It's very much important to see and to know these things even before you go into a relationship. And let me tell you something, and I repeat it, that some of the characters that are troublesome in the relationship, in the marriage, we saw them even before we got involved. And what hurt us the most, the reason we're crying day and night, is because you said, but I've seen the warning, but I thought there will be a change. I've seen the warning. I thought, it's about 7 years. You are still dealing with the same problem. But I am here to encourage you. If you are still looking for a life partner, if you are in a relationship, identify these things. Talk about these things, because it is important for your relationship. It is important in building love. Character is everything. All right. Those who go into relationships, we go into relationship with person because of what they are having. Let me tell you, I like the dream of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, when he dreamt about the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of hunger. And also I like what the wise man Solomon wrote. He says that there is time for everything. There's time to be happy and there's time to cry. So in whatever you do, in as much as you can be happy in your life, remember that also there's time to cry. And for those that are going through hard time, remember that this too shall pass. And if this too shall pass, if time of crying can pass, that means even time of laughter is going to pass. If time where you don't have money, where you are always like struggling for money can pass, remember that even the time of having plenty can pass. Now, my friend, what is important in doing this Mjezi, thank you very much for coming through. What is important is that when you've got plenty, you start building storehouses. Start building storehouses. I just hope next week I will touch more about the storehouses, because storehouses are like a bank where you deposit. So let's talk next week about the issue of deposit, because when you build storehouses in the time of plenty, when you start preparing yourself, when you've got plenty, when you are still life, when someone is still pursuing you, when someone still want to phone you day in and day out, it's important to ask important questions. It's important to want to know more about them. It's important to start questioning some certain things about them, because they love you, because they are interested in you. You got the power to influence, not to change, but you can influence them, right? We are not talking about changing a person, because you cannot change a person, but you can influence the person. All right. Some people say, Andrew, but I don't like the way he's dressing. You can influence the person the way they are dressing. You can influence, the kind of perfume that they put on. Mr. Solomon Siku, thank you very much for coming through. As we come to an end, you influence a person because there's certain things that you expect out of them, but you don't change a person. But character is made. Character is built over time. It's not a one-day thing that you can just change. And you need to observe the character of a person even before you say, yes, I do. I see a lot of wedding in my country, South Africa. I see people are getting married. There's weddings everywhere. People are getting married. But remember, you are marrying the character of that person. If the person is stingy, always fighting over money, know that will continue even in marriage, right? And it's not a bad thing, but know that what you are dealing with. If someone is a free spender, when they get 50 rand, they can easily go to a restaurant, buy a meal for themselves and eat on their own. It's the character. That's how they see money. And you need to learn to deal with that. You need to know that this is the person that I'm getting myself with, Adua all the way from Ghana. Thank you very much, my sister, for coming through. Thank you. I appreciate it. So the character of a person that you see, right, even before you date, okay? Also over here, when you are there at that construction site, the character of the person, how they talk to their subordinate, how they move everyone, that character that you are seeing, you will see it even in marriage. So be careful, be wary, and open your eyes, because love is a beautiful thing, and love can work. And we all need love. We all need to be in healthy, good relationships. I am Andrew Spama. I am your relationship coach. And I want to thank you for taking time, Mr. Charles Mudanalo. Thank you very much for taking time to join me on Talking Relationships with Andrew Spama. Continue to pass your comments. Continue to give us feedback, because we can only do better when we serve you. I'll say, Kidiboni Baloi, thank you very much for coming through. Thank you. We can only do better when you give us feedback. You can only do better when you tell us what you want us to address, because we want to address the key issues in your relationship. Thank you very much. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God make his face to shine upon you and make you prosperous in everything that you are doing. See you at the top, because at the top is where you belong and you are a winner. Thank you very much. As Kate, thank you. God bless. Bye.